5 foot 5 inches tall, 24 years old, 309 confirmed kills. That last number is not the number of soldiers her unit killed. That is the number of German soldiers she killed personally, with a rifle from distances most people cannot even see, including 36 enemy snipers in one-on-one sniper duels, where if you lose, you do not get a second try. Her name was Lyudmila Pavlichenko. The Germans called her Lady Death. In 1942, the most successful female sniper in human history walked into the White House to have lunch with the President of the United States. She was 26 years old. She had personally killed more Nazis than most American infantry battalions had killed by that point in the entire war, and by 45, she could not sleep through a single night. Today, we are going to tell you the real story of Lyudmila Pavlichenko, the shy library worker from Ukraine, the teenager who tried to enlist and was told to go home and become a nurse, the woman who looked the United States Congress in the eye and told them to get off their backsides and join the war, and the quiet thing that happened to her afterward. That history does not really want to talk about. Let us begin. Lyudmila Pavlichenko was born in 1916 in a small town in Ukraine. Quiet kid. Read books. Worked in a library after school. Wanted to study history at university. There was nothing in her early life that suggested what was coming. At 14, she joined a Soviet shooting club. She joined because a boy in her class made fun of her for, quote, being a delicate little girl. She showed up the next weekend, picked up a rifle for the first time, and missed every single shot. The instructor laughed at her. The other boys laughed at her. She did not laugh. She came back the next weekend, and the weekend after that, for 4 years. By 18, she was hitting bullseyes at distances most adult men in the club could not. She earned a sharpshooter's certificate. Then she enrolled at Kyiv University to study history. She wanted to be a teacher. She got married. She had a son. The marriage failed. She raised the boy on her own. In June 1941, she was 24 years old. She was sitting in a library in Odessa reading a book for her thesis. That was when the radio announced that Germany had invaded the Soviet Union. Lyudmila closed the book, walked out of the library, walked straight to the military recruitment office, and asked to enlist. The recruiter looked at her. He saw a small woman with neat hair and a soft face. He told her women were not allowed in combat roles. He said they were welcome to apply as nurses. Lyudmila pulled out her marksmanship certificates. The recruiter told her to apply as a nurse. She refused. After she walked into the recruitment office 3 more times, the army sent her to be tested. She destroyed every target they gave her. In July 1941, Lyudmila Pavlichenko became one of the first 2,000 Soviet female snipers ever certified for combat. 2 months later, she was in a trench in Odessa, looking through a telescopic sight at a Romanian soldier 200 meters away. She had never killed anyone before. She did not hesitate. Her first 2 confirmed kills came in the suburbs of Odessa. After that, the Soviet army officially classified her as a sniper. Snipers in the Red Army did not work like Hollywood snipers. Most of them lay in the mud for 10, 15, sometimes 30 hours without moving. They urinated where they lay. They did not eat. They controlled their breathing for half a day at a time. If you moved, you died. If you scratched your face, you died. Lyudmila was extraordinarily good at not moving. By the end of 1941, she had killed 187 Germans. By June 1942, she had passed 300, but the number that mattered most to her was 36. 36 was the number of German and Romanian snipers she killed in one-on-one duels. A sniper duel is not a battle. It is 2 people lying motionless in mud, sometimes for 2 or 3 days trying to see who twitches first. Her longest duel lasted 3 days. She and an enemy sniper were stationed in opposite trenches near Sevastopol. Both had been ordered not to move. Both knew the other was there. For 3 full days they did not eat, did not sleep, did not blink unless they could afford to. On the morning of the 3rd day, just after dawn, the enemy sniper made the smallest possible mistake. He shifted his hand to ease a cramp. Lyudmila put a bullet through his eye. When her unit later retrieved the dead sniper's documents, they discovered he was one of the most decorated marksmen in the German army. He had over 500 kills. He had been sent to Sevastopol specifically to find and eliminate Lyudmila Pavlichenko. He had found her. She had found him first. In June 1942, while still fighting at Sevastopol, Lyudmila was hit by mortar fragments to her face and shoulders. The Soviet command realized she had become too valuable as a propaganda asset to be allowed to die in a Crimean trench. They pulled her out of combat. She had killed 309 confirmed Nazi soldiers in less than 12 months. She was 25 years old. The Soviet government sent her to America. The official mission was to convince President Roosevelt to open a second front in Europe. The Soviets were absorbing nearly all of the German army by themselves and bleeding to death doing it. They needed the Western Allies to invade France and split Hitler's attention. Lyudmila, with her 309 confirmed kills, was supposed to be the proof. The argument. She arrived in Washington in 1942, the first Soviet citizen ever invited to stay at the White House. She had lunch with Eleanor Roosevelt. She gave speeches to crowds of 30,000 people. The American press did not really know what to do with her. The Washington Post asked her if Soviet women were allowed to use makeup at the front. The New York Times wrote articles about the cut of her uniform, suggesting it made her look unflattering. Reporters asked her how she did her hair before going to kill Nazis. Lyudmila listened to all of this. In Chicago, in front of a crowd of thousands, she finally responded. She said, quote, "Gentlemen, I am 25 years old, and I have killed 309 fascist invaders by now. Do you not think, gentlemen, that you have been hiding behind my back for too long?" The crowd for a few seconds did not know how to react. Then they erupted. Eleanor Roosevelt, who would become one of Lyudmila's closest friends for the rest of her life, said it was the moment she understood what kind of woman the Soviet Union was producing. Some historians believe Lyudmila Pavlichenko's tour helped accelerate American entry into Europe by months. She came home a hero. That was the easy part of her life. The hard part was about to begin. The Soviet Union promoted her to major. They gave her the gold star of a hero of the Soviet Union. They put her face on a postage stamp. They wrote songs about her. They never put her back in combat. The official reason was that her face was now too well known. The Germans would have paid anything to kill her. The real reason was that the Soviet command knew what they had done to her. Lyudmila had killed 309 human beings at distances of 100 to 400 meters. She had watched their faces through her scope as they died. She remembered every single one of them, she said so. In 1945, she was honorably discharged. She finished her history degree. She became a research historian at the Soviet Navy. She married a fellow soldier. The marriage was quiet. Her son from her first marriage barely knew her. When she came home, she did not know how to be a mother. He moved out as soon as he could. By the 1950s, Lyudmila was drinking heavily. She did not sleep through a single night. Soviet doctors gave her what they called nerve medicine. It did not help. She kept a careful record of every soldier she had killed. By name when possible. By date. By distance. She would not let anyone see the list. She kept it in a locked drawer. In 1974, at the age of 58, Lyudmila Pavlichenko died of a stroke in her apartment in Moscow, alone. The official Soviet record blamed alcoholism. Eleanor Roosevelt had died 11 years earlier. The two of them had written each other letters for the rest of Roosevelt's life. Lyudmila kept the letters in the same drawer as her kill list. The drawer was opened by the state after she died. The letters were preserved. The list was destroyed. Now look at what was left. A library worker from Ukraine, 5'5", 24 years old when the war started. 309 confirmed kills before her 26th birthday. The deadliest female sniper in recorded human history. She did not enlist because she hated Germans. She enlisted because Germany was attacking her country, and she had spent 4 years learning how to shoot because a boy in her class had laughed at her once. The thing she was best at in the world was something she did not want to do. She did it anyway, 309 times. She remembered every face. She kept a list. She drank to fall asleep. The Americans clapped for her. The Soviets put her on stamps. The Germans called her Lady Death. Nobody called her Lyudmila. She died alone in a Moscow apartment, in a country that thanked her with songs but did not really know what to do with her quiet, scarred, sleepless self. There is a lesson somewhere in this story. About what we ask young people to become when our countries are in trouble, and about what we owe them when the trouble is over and they come home, and the only thing they know how to do anymore is the thing we taught them to do. So drop it in the comments. Was Lyudmila Pavlichenko a hero? Or was she a weapon that the Soviet Union built, used, then quietly left to rust in a Moscow apartment? I have my answer. I want yours. Hit subscribe if you enjoy the parts of history that come with a name, a number, and a kept secret. Lyudmila Pavlichenko kept 309 of them. The least you can do is one click. See you in the next one.